Hello everyone, I'm here with Pro Tour Eldritch Moon winner Lukas Blohon, a person I can call a good friend and someone who has been on a tear, not only winning Pro Tour Eldritch Moon, but also top-8ing GP Rimini the week afterwards, and now rocking it at the World Championship and even picking up your first win in Modern.
Yes, that's correct.
How does that feel?
It feels great.
All right, so you're at 8 wins and 3 losses, picking up your first win in Modern, and I really want to talk about your deck because it's great, it's interesting. It's an old twist. Now, most of you at home probably know the Scapeshift deck that's built around the 4 mana card Scapeshift in combination with Valakut, Molten Pinnacle, and Mountains. But you've really spiced it up a little notch, and using this great new card, Bring to Light. Please tell me why you chose to play Bring to Light, and how does this work in the deck?
Well, the great part about Bring to Light is that it's basically Scapeshifts number 4 through 7. So you can have additional Scapeshifts in your deck, but it does something else too. When it's, I don't know, turn 4 or 5, Scapeshift don't do anything, but Bring to Light can bring you some Silver Bullet, some more ramp. It just does something. It's not a dead card, but also gives you more win conditions. So it's great that you actually have 7 win conditions in your deck, but only 3 are, that just kill your opponent and don't do anything else.
So for those who are maybe not that familiar with the interaction of Scapeshift, Valakut, Molten Pinnacle, how does your deck kill the opponent?
So it works that you have to ramp to at least 7 mana. If you have 7 lands, you can play Scapeshift, sacrifice all of your lands, and get 1 Valakut and 6 mountains. So mountains see each other, so each of them deals 3 damage, so that's 18 damage. Usually that's enough because people play shock lands in the format, fetch lands, so they're usually below 18. And you also have 3 lightning bolts, so you can, shoot them and kill them. Or when you have 8 lands, you can sacrifice 8 lands and either go for 1 Valakut and 7 mountains, that's 21 damage, or 2 Valakuts and 6 mountains, that's 36 damage. So that's usually more than enough.
Yeah, 36 sounds like it should be enough damage to win the game. All right, so the Bring to Light, paying 4 different colors of mana. Even though it's really mountain heavy, you're playing all colors except white, correct?
Yes, that's correct. There's a small cost to pay the 4th color because you need to have 1 basic land, 1 swamp, and 1 dual land, at least 1 dual land. So there's small cost to it, but I think the benefits of the Bring to Light outweigh it.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so you mentioned getting to 7 mana. Let's go to the next slide and see how you're actually accomplishing that. I think Sakura Tribal and Search for Tomorrow are all the bread and butter.
Yes, those are the best ramp spells. Then the other next best ramp spell is Farseek. There's different people play different amount of those. I think something between 2 and 3 is the best because the hands when you play turn 2 ramp spell or have at least 1 ramp spell, those are so much easier than when you don't. So you really want to have your opening hand with one of the ramp spells. And sometimes people play Thoughtseize, Inquisition, so they discard them. So you want to have a lot of those. So I opted to go with 2 Farseek.
Okay, maybe explain why these 2 are so important or why these are a 4 of in the deck.
Okay, well, the best thing about Search is that you can play Search on turn 1, suspend it, and another ramp spell on turn 2. So on turn 3, Search comes, you can play Search, you get a land, and on turn you sacrifice your Elder or played Farseek. So on turn 3 you have 5 mana. And that you can do only with the Search for Tomorrow. If you draw 2 Sakura Tribe Elders, you can play 1 on turn 2, 1 on turn 3, but you don't get to 5 on turn 3. So Search is great because of that, and Sakura, it obviously blocks creatures, so it's better than Farseek. Sometimes it's great that the Farseek gets you 2 colors because you get a dual land, but you usually don't have problems with that.
All right.
And the last one, it's Kodama's Reach. It's basically the ramp spell to get with Bring to Light. Most of the people play either the 4 mana spells. It's either Explosive Vegetation or Hunting Wilds, the one that gets 2 forests. But I opted to go with this one because I think it's better when you draw it. It's better against Jund decks. When they discard, you don't have the ramp spell on turn 2. Then on turn 3, it just gets you 2 cards. And when you play Bring to Light, you have 5 mana. So it's usually enough when you ramp by 1, go to 6, and next turn play lands, you have 7. So that's usually enough, so you don't need to get the 2 lands into play. Sometimes it's obviously burst, but I think it's a bit better.
Interesting. All right, so a big difference that you're being able to play so much blue, you get to run 4 Remand and 4 Cryptic Command. Now we've seen the traditional red-green version like ramping up to Primeval Titans really fast and so on, but now you get access to counter magic. How important is this maybe for the anticipated field here?
I think the blue cards, they make the deck a bit more consistent. And you know, they both buy you time. Like remand on play is just fantastic. Like usually by your turn 2, they don't have enough board presence, so you basically just time walk them with the remand. And quick pick command against a lot of creature decks, you can just play 2 or 3 in a row, just tap all their creatures, draw a card, and they can't do anything about it. So it, yeah, basically time walks too.
All right, that's great. Let's keep moving on to the other cards. So some utility here. You mentioned cryptic commanding a couple times in a row. Snapcaster Mage can
Snapcaster
help with
obviously
it.
helps. The main reason for Snapcaster Mage though is against Abzan and Jan decks, they have a lot of discard, so this is like an extra Scapeshift or Bring to Light. When they discard one, you have Snapcaster that you can replay it and kill them. But other than that, Snapcaster is not really great because you don't have that many cheap spells in your deck. Worldly Council, that's pretty much the same thing. Like it's just a card that gets you to your Bring to Light or Scapeshift, but also does it a bit differently than Snapcaster. And 2 repeals, it's similar to Remand and Cryptic. You just want to buy time and draw cards. So because you need to play all your lands, so this does that too. It's not great, but I think it's fine.
All right, let's keep moving on then. All right, so you mentioned the Lightning Bolt as a way to get the opponent down to 18,
yes.
so you can kill them on turn 7.
Yes, that's not the primary purpose of it. You need some interaction with the really fast creature decks like Affinity, a Burn. So this card is not amazing in the deck, but I think you need some number of Lightning Bolts to keep in.
What about
and
the
one
damnation?
that's just for Bring to Light. You can hardcast it too because you have Swamp and Watery Grave in the deck, but mostly for Bring to Light, it's good against creature decks and yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the mana base because that's also quite interesting. So because you mentioned you needed 6 mountains in your deck when you cast Scapeshift, so you're running a total of 10 here, just to be safe.
Yes, I would. I think 10 is safe. You would rather have 11. But then you would have to cut something else, and you would have like 1 less green source, and it will make the deck more inconsistent. So I think 10 is like the minimum. It's close, but it works out with 10. Sometimes if you draw 1 too many mountain, it's awkward, but 10 is just fine, I think.
All right, let's keep just going through lands because there's some cool ones like a 1 Follow the Go, 1 of the black sources in Watergrave, but of course 4 Misty Rains for its fetch land just to make it a little more consistent, 2 Breeding Pool, and then an interesting amount of basic lands on the next slide because you do actually play a swamp, 2 forests, and 3 islands among all those mountains as well.
Yes.
So that's very interesting. Lucas, before we let you go back to the tournament, please tell me why you think it is a good choice maybe for this tournament.
Well, I expected a lot of people to play black-green mid-range decks, Abzan or Chan, and this deck is well positioned against them because they don't have a fast clock and you have a lot of cards that give you time and cantrip, so you eventually are able to get to your lands and Scapeshift and kill them. Yeah, and that's basically it. That was the main reason for it.
There's a lot of Abzan in the room, so you might keep on winning. So that's it from the deck tech for me and Lukas Blohon.